Welcome to another session of Cost and Works Accounting. In this session, we are going to study the topic of budgetary control, and the subtopic will be procedures or steps in budgetary control. So let's start. I, Dr. S.R. Pagare from K.J. Somaiya College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Gopalgaon. Welcome you all to the session on procedures or steps in budgetary control. So let's begin with the definition of budgetary control. ICW London defines the term budgetary control as the establishment of budgets relating to the responsibilities of executives to the requirements of a policy and a continuous comparison of actual with budgeted results, either to secure by individual action or the objective of that policy or to provide a basis of its region. I repeat, ICW London defines the term budgetary control as follows: the establishment of budget relating to the responsibilities of executives to the requirements of a policy and a continuous comparison of actual with budgeted results, either to secure by individual action or the objective of that policy or to provide a basis of its revision. Now let's have a look at the procedures or steps in budgetary control. The first step is establishment of budget centers. Let's see what is a budget center. A budget center is a section of organization of undertaking defining the purposes of budgetary control. A budget center is a section of the organization that undertakes the defined purpose of budgetary control. Budget centers should be clearly defined and established. For each of which, a budget will be set with the help of the head of departments concerned. It is desirable to identify such budget centers, especially where mechanized accounting is done. The second procedure or the second step in budgetary control is preparation of an organization chart. It is not the hierarchy chart, it is the organizational chart. The chart defining the functions and responsibilities of each member has to be framed. An organization chart defines the functions and responsibilities of each member of management. He knows his position in the organization and his relationship to other members. The third step is preparation of adequate accounting records. It is essential that the accounting system should be able to record and analyze the transactions involved. The chart of accounts or accounts code should be maintained, which may correspond with the budget centers for establishment of budgets, and finally control through budgets. The fourth step is establishment of budget committee. A budget committee consisting of several members of the top management should exist to coordinate the separate budgets and set the general guidelines to be followed. A committee consisting of senior executives of different departments is to be formed. The committee has to decide the objective of the organization and the methods to be followed for attainment of objectives. A budget committee is not an executive committee, but an advisory committee. Its decisions become binding only when the authority of the chief executive, who is the chairman of the committee. Now let's see what are the functions of this budget committee. The main functions of budget committee are as follows. First, to receive and scrutinize all the budgets. That is, the budget received from various departments are to be scrutinized by the budget committee. To decide detailed policy to be followed. The policy can be framed by the top management and the decision is to be taken whether that policy has to be followed. To suggest revision of functional budgets wherever necessary. To approve finally revised budget, to receive and deal with budget and comparison statement, to recommend action to be taken under the circumstances. So these are the 6 main functions of budget committee. The fifth step in the budgetary control is preparation of budget manual. Now let's see what is the budget manual. Budget manual is a document which sets out the responsibilities of the persons engaged in the routine of and the forms and records required for budgetary control. Effective implementation of budgetary control system depends on the budget manual. Budget manual gives detailed information about the plans, policies, procedures and operations of the organization. I repeat, budget manual gives detailed information about the plans, policies, procedures and operations of the organization. Use of budget manual helps a company to develop improved techniques for forecasting sales and cost. Such a manual should be well written, indexed and divided into distinct sections so that each departmental manager can be issued with a section appropriate for his work and responsibilities. A budget manual states whether a fixed budget and flexible budget will be adopted. The sixth step is of fixation of budget period. Budget period is a period for which budget is prepared and employed. The budget period is not fixed one. It varies according to the nature of business and its necessity. The budget period may be short-term or long-term as per the requirement of business organization. Except for capital expenditure budget, the budget period is commonly the accounting year subdivided into 4 quarters for 12 months. The seventh stage is laying down the level of activity. It is necessary to lay down the level of activity which can be easily reached by the company. This level of activity is important in planning of production. The eighth stage is determination of key factor. Key factor means the factor, the extent of whose influence must first be assessed in order to ensure that functional budgets are reasonably capable of fulfillment. It is of vital importance since it determines priorities in functional budget. Key factor is also known as principal budget factor or limiting factor or a governing factor, which may restrict the activities of a budget. The functional budgets cannot go beyond key factor. Key factor active laid down the boundary within which the budget has to be drawn. Sales is the most often the key factor in most industries. So in today's session, we have seen the essentials of budgeting and budgetary control. We shall meet in the next session